so she decided, okay, I need my own thing. And of course, Jerry Wexler and Ahmed Edgar at Atlantic Records said, you come and sing, we want you to sing what you sing. And they sent her down to Alabama, if you remember, and that's where they pulled all of that together. And that's when she said she could, you know, she's on the piano there, and you have to remember, the first time we heard, not Dr. Philgood, but The Change Is Gonna Come, Billy Preston is on the organ. And you remember Billy, you're only young, but you remember. And that was fabulous. I just wanted to, because it started with Columbia, and the failure of Columbia, when she went to Atlantic, let her know, I need to control what's going on here. And I think it's kind of unfair to say that Whitney got rid of her black audience. Because you have to remember, the preacher's wife, she was standing there singing with Claire Ward. Right? That, I think that the church didn't understand Whitney, and I think that Whitney was just money to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And they messed with her. And I think that's she didn't have the strength to tell them to kiss her ass. And so the one person, Aretha, as you know, had Carolyn. And so when Carolyn died, her sister, her younger sister, when Carolyn died, Aretha wrote one of the saddest songs in the world, Gotta Find Me an Angel. Because she didn't have anybody to count on. And Irma was living, her other sister was living in London. But when they pushed Robin out of Whitney's life, and maybe I should write about it at some point.
You should. You should.
Pushing Robin out of her life because they were afraid of what people would think. And Sissy has to answer. I worked with Sissy. She's on my album. But Sissy has to answer for that because it's nobody's business. First of all, nobody knew what Robin meant to her. Robin may have meant to, not that I care one way or the other, but may have meant to Whitney what Caroline meant to Aretha. You got to have an angel. You got to have somebody when you walk off stage that you can have fried chicken with, or you can have whatever it is that you got to have somebody. And they didn't like it because they were afraid that people would say she was gay, as if it was anybody's business whether she was or wasn't. But once she didn't have anybody, then she's going to walk out on the stage by herself. She's not going to have anybody to turn to. And they ended up thinking, oh, wouldn't it be a great idea if she married Bobby Brown? I got a dog I wouldn't let marry Bobby Brown. And so I wouldn't let Cleopatra live with Bobby. And you saw not only did Whitney die, but her daughter died the same way. They both. And this was just a damn shame. And so I'm not meddling. It's just little things that maybe somebody like me knows that some of you youngsters don't. But we have to remember that Columbia damn near ruined her career. And she recognized, I can't sing these songs. If we look at the history, 2 seconds? If we looked at the history of the Fisk singers, the Fisk singers that became the Fisk Jubilee singers, when Fisk got broke, Etta Shepherd, Miss Shepherd, said, and again, this is do what you can, she said to the president of Fisk, we will go out and we will sing. He said, well, who's going to pay to hear you sing? And she said, that's what we have. She's like the hare and the turtle. All she had is song. So she said, that's what we have. And so they went on the road. But George White, who was funny, his name was White. George White was afraid. This is Nashville, you're a band, so you know what Jimmy. And George White was afraid if these 9 youngsters, black youngsters, went out on the road by themselves, somebody would kill them, because this is the South, this is Nashville. And so he went to protect them. But like a lot of people, Mr. White thought he knew more than Miss Shepherd. So he wanted them to sing those stroke tunes. And like a lot of people, including me to some degree, you try to do what people tell you until you finally realize, oh, I'm not this. So they started to sing show tunes, and nobody would pay them for it. And this is stuff you can, and they're going all around singing show tunes. By the time they got to Wilberforce, Miss Shepherd recognized, we're failing, we have failed. There's some wonderful stories in between, because the first time they made money was the day of the Great Chicago Fire. And they took enough money to feed themselves and sent the rest to Chicago to help with the fire, which was just a beautiful thing to do. But when they got to Wilberforce, she gathered her group. And she said to them, we're failing. We are going to go down on the songs that we know. We are not going to sing any more of those dumb songs. We're not. We're going to go in and we're going to sing the songs that, for my language, would be got us over. And so when you got 9 black children, youngsters, walking into the church where they were having this big conference, and so everybody turned to look, and when they had their attention, if any of you ever meet the Queen or people like that, you get their attention by kind of standing and saying nothing. And a lot of people make a mistake and think, oh, I can say something and they'll pay attention to me. No, shut up until they have to look at you. And so the people now are looking, and they broke into 4-part harmony. And they had never heard, these white men, these preachers, had never heard anything like that. One of the people there was the brother of Harriet Beecher Stowe. And so Reverend Beecher said to them, if you come to New York, you will make money. And so the Fifth Singers, is still at that point, went to New York, and they sang. And one of the people at one of the concerts was the cousin of Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Victoria. And he said, my cousin should hear you. And that's how they got to London and all of the other good things. And I'm saying all of that to say, at some point, if Ella Shepherd had listened, they would have failed, because they were failing. And she said, no, these are the songs that got us over. And when they were at Wilberforce University, college at that point, when they were there, they knew if we are going to fail, we're going to fail on our terms. And Aretha knew that Columbia, who had given her quite a good contract at that time, she knew better than to be bothered with Barry Gordy, because she saw what that would be. Not me, but Mr. Gordy. She knew better. And so when she went to Columbia thinking she could do what she wanted to do, and they wouldn't let them, sing you can go look it up, sing the little dumb song. And so when that contract ran out, and that's true, Jerry Wexler and Alma Aretha, and they're both gone now, but I knew Wexler and Alma, well, that's a whole nother story. But they are the ones that said, we want to take you, I'm trying to think of, it's in Alabama, Muscle Shoals. And they took her down to thank you for the and that's where her hits came from. I just wanted, you asked, and so I was just trying to make sure that we got some of that.